Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Let me just share on. Do, do, do. Mhm. Da, 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 da. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Hi. Hi, Bea. Good evening. I'm just setting up a bit and testing audio and stuff. Are you going to be reading tonight? Resident, you are very much welcome always. I'm just waiting for a little bit more people to join us, just sharing on couple of places. Mm, Gonna be reading My Roommate is a Vampire. Almost halfway done with it. How are you liking it? I've been hearing very mixed reviews about the book. I wanted to read it when it first became like very popular on Bookstagram and BookTube, but the hold was so long. I think I was waiting for it for like 16 weeks, and then by the time that I got it, I wasn't really interested anymore because I saw a bunch of like so reviews. Um, but yeah, let me know how you're liking it. It's supposed to be like a paranormal rom com, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let me check Storygraph. Roommate is a vampire. Yeah, kind of like a light-hearted fantasy romance, I suppose. The name of the vampire, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam. Very vampiric name. Oh, it's good. Oh, that's nice. It's nice that it's good so far. I know, I know. I was the same when I read Bride. I had a hangover. I wanted to read more vampire werewolf romances that is not like super duper smut, but also has a little bit of like world building and stuff. I think there's probably a lot on KU. I just haven't like did my proper research. Um, did you like what did you rate Brian? Did you give it like 5 stars or something? Paranormal romance comedy, just not used to vampires are so archaic. His clueless in the modern world. Yeah, I feel like the trend recently is for vampires who are very like modernized, has adapted to the modern world. When was the last time I read something about vampires that are like clueless about stuff? I don't think I've read a lot of that. Hello, other Pam. Dropping by. Why are you just dropping by? Why aren't you staying? Setting up a desk so I won't be reading. Nice. So productivity spot. Is that a new desk? New upgrade to the working place. I think some. Okay, sorry. Just got distracted because somebody was entering the door, and it's just my boyfriend. Magbasa ka na dumayan mo kami ni Pam. I know, right? 5 stars. Okay, I think I gave it. I'm gonna have to check, but somewhere around the three, like a high three, I think. Can I? I'll just check. I think I gave it 3.75. Yeah, so definitely a high three. I think my issue with it was that it felt too long for some reason. Like it felt I wanted it kind of was too long for the romance that was in it, but too short for all of the plot things that they tried to do. So I couldn't decide kung like slow burn ba siya or something else, or like super plot heavy, fast paced ba siya. Like I was kind of curious. Like portions of it, I was a little bit not bored by, but I felt like kind of dragging. And then I was kind of disappointed with the ending. Like it felt anticlimactic. But I nagsisigaw. I don't know. Thank you. Caps lock para intense. Live yan. And Wow, okay, kaya ko siguro na-miss ko lang paranormal romance here. What other paranormal romance have you read? Can you give me recommendations? Because I really like that concept. I want to read more of it. But a more light-hearted, fluffy kind. Not super duper like fantasy, smut, like gory kind. Where was I? Wait, I thought tapos ka na because last night you were talking and you were pretty like you were referring to that scene na medyo like towards the end na. I thought you were done. Come on, join us for one sprint and finish the book. I think it was meant to be slower. I know, right? I think the plot and the romance were kind of competing for screen time or like page time because I felt like it could have been a really good slow burn, but then she had to like obviously tie up all of the plot stuff, like push forward the plot and tie it all up. So that kind of competed with the focus, and it felt like kind of half-ass for both of those things. So, right, join us. But I feel like I don't know where you are, so I don't want to say anything. Kala ko sino hinabas the shutter. Oops, sorry for the jump scare. The second conference, yep. Isn't it towards like the last 20% of the book? Like I read Love Hypothesis, I think 2 years ago now, so I'm not sure if I'm just not remembering it well. Adam Carlson. Okay, so while everyone's fighting in the comments or in the chat, she's gonna test the audio for the ASMR rooms. I'm going for let me know if the audio is okay or if it's too loud. 60 okay. I didn't realize that it was just 60%. I felt like maybe the last chapters went by so fast. I think because I read the Love Hypothesis in somehow like two sittings because I think I read this by the beach. I remember I did a vlog on it. So I read this by the beach. So I was just lounging and reading the entire day. So maybe that's why it felt super fast to me. Okay. I feel like I shouldn't be highlighting these comments. Okay, I am going to. So I'm gonna read Even If This Love Disappears Tonight by Misaki Ichijo. Actually, not sure if this is a novelization of a movie or if it was a book first and then it was adapted into a movie. Actually, let's. This was actually a gift to me by Ashlyn. So I don't think Ashlyn is here, but if you are watching, Ashlyn, thank you for gifting me this last Christmas. Super. It was such a surprise, honestly. But actually, I'm gonna check even if this love because I'm pretty sure there's a movie of it. Even if this love disappears tonight. Okay, so the movie is Even If This Love Disappears from the World Tonight, and it was released 2022, and then this book was released 2020. Yeah, so it was a book first before it became a movie. I haven't watched the movie at all. Um, okay, I'm not gonna highlight that, but so this is what I'm gonna be reading. I think this is kind of a tearjerker because I found out about this book from Emmy on BookTube, and she read it for a 24-hour readathon, and she basically like sobbed real hard while reading this book. I think it's because it has a lot to do with memory, like forgetting things. I don't know why. Like I don't know if there's like a sickness or something that happens, but there's a lot of like uh yeah, it talks a lot of like forgetting people and memories and stuff. So I think that's gonna be hard to read. I think books about memory always get to me. But let's see what the synopsis is about. When Toru Kamiya is pushed into falsely confessing his love to Maori Hino, she tells him they can date on three conditions. One, don't talk to her until after school. Two, keep all communication between them short. Three, don't truly fall in love with her. To his surprise, Toru agrees to all three. However, as they become closer, he finds that he cannot adhere to the last rule, obviously. When he finally tells her how he feels, Maori reveals that she has an illness. I feel like this is like a Japanese story staple. Like if it's a sad Japanese book or movie or like J drama, there's always like some illness, like terminal illness involved. She's unable to remember anything that happened the day before. Is it kind of like 51st Dates vibe? Nevertheless, Toru is determined to build a relationship with her one day at a time. I'm kind of regret. Do I read this? I feel like I'm gonna regret this later. Um, now I'm kind of hesitant. But okay, anyway, I already committed. I need to read this because obviously it's a gift, so I want to read it. But also because it's part of my 12 Rex 12 Friends challenge. So I have been trying to read one book per month so that I don't have to struggle reading so many books by the end of the year, and I haven't read anything for March. So I thought this would be a good book for that because it's kind of thin, the text is kind of big, and it's a tiny book. Like it's not a big book at all. So I feel like it would be a something I could actually finish within the sprints because I'm gonna be doing 45-minute sprints. So I feel like I could finish it. And yes, it does sound like it's gonna be a heavy theme book, which is why I'm slightly regretting the choice. But I really want to finish one of those 12 Rex 12 Friends books, so I can like progress with the challenge. So I'm gonna stick with it, but we'll see if I change my mind after the first sprint. So for everyone who's just joined, let us know what you are reading in the chat. I'm gonna be doing 45-minute sprint so that we could all just read a lot. If you're not reading, if you're just doing other things, building a desk maybe, it's it's fine. Just let us know in the comments as well, so we could all like catch up and update later. Should probably like tape this in the inside of the book so I don't lose it. It's like the gift message from Amazon when you send a gift. I'm gonna put it here for now so I don't lose it. Okay, I'm gonna start the first sprint for 45 minutes. Happy. I hope I don't regret this. Hello. That was our first sprint, 45 minutes. How did everyone do? I'm just gonna go through some of the chat that came through while we were doing the sprints. Hi, Sina. Sat out of my desk, joining with the kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto, and maybe some more braiding sweetgrass. I have been hearing about Banana Yoshimoto and Kitchen in particular. I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure it's in my TBR. I think it's a kind of a short book, right? I should probably just try and read it at some point. Yeah, it's in my TBR, 160 pages. How is it? How are you liking it so far? Hi, Laurie. Laurie, I just did my April TBR video. I'm editing it like this morning, and I put in the right move there. So I'm gonna start reading it in April. So I think we talked about buddy reading it. So let me know if you're gonna be reading it in April as well. Hi, good morning. Getting some coffee and hugging. Thank you. Hope you have a good day and that your coffee is delicious. I kind of want coffee, but it's, as you can see, nighttime. Probably shouldn't have coffee. I do have one of this acai lemonade drinks from Starbucks, and I used to just order this because I wanted something refreshing and like juice, not coffee. But this also has caffeine, so probably shouldn't be drinking it at night. But hi, Emily. What are you going to be reading in your Kindle? Let us know. Hi, Atia. Welcome back, Sprint. Reading some picture books. What picture books are you reading? That's like a nice way to start the morning. Just like chill, casual picture books. Wait, what? Is that the harp sound? Joined late but read a solid 20 pages. You are reading No Show by Beth O'Leary. I have been seeing that, but there's so many romance books that I can't keep up. I recently just discovered Here for the Right Reasons by, who's the author of that? Here for the Right Reasons by Jodi McAllister. And apparently there's like three books in this companion series, and I kind of want to read it. I think it's on KU as well, but there's just so many romance books. Ooh, can fit it in April. Yes. I mean, no pressure, obviously. But I am gonna be messaging you with my thoughts, so I'll just put it in spoiler tags and let you know where I am, so you don't get spoiled. Or do you do Storygraph? Because I could set up like a Storygraph buddy read if you use Storygraph. It's a short story, or at least two short stories. I'm loving it so far. It's actually a reread from almost a decade ago, and I forgot how much I loved it at the time. The writing and gorgeous is gorgeous and just chef's kiss. I need to get on this Banana Yoshimoto train. I feel like she's there's another book that she wrote that I've been seeing around a lot. Let me just take a look at her. Oh no, I saw one of her short stories in this Penguin like book of Japanese short stories. I think that's why her name sounds so familiar. Almost finished the first story. There are two, and it makes me want to cry. We're both reading books that make me want to cry. So before I read further, I guess an update on my reading. I made it to page 48. So the first of all, the chapter, or I guess the part headings has this photos in it. So the first part is an unknown boy and his unknown girl, and it's from the perspective of Toru, which is the boy, and it just goes through like the first, like them setting up this whole fake dating agreement thing. And then I, towards the end of the sprint, like with like 1 minute remaining, I started reading the second part, which is walking side by side, and it seems like it's from the point of view of the girl, Hin, Hino, Hina, Hino. It's from Hina's point of view, and I can already tell that this is gonna be a very sad POV because I mean, I read it earlier during the beginning of sprints, but this book is about a guy and a girl who are from the same school, and they made a deal to essentially fake date. And one of the reasons why is because the girl has some kind of illness where she can't remember the things that happened in the day before. So when she wakes up, she basically doesn't remember what happened the day before. And then there's like a binder in front of her that says, like, read this binder, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like this is going to be very heartbreaking. Like, I really, like, whenever there are books that has to do with memory loss, I can't. Yeah, so I that's why I stopped reading earlier, because I feel like I don't want to start reading the sad part with like 40 seconds left in the sprint, because then I would be feeling very, very sad, and then I would have to like talk and stuff. So I stopped early. But I'm still gonna continue reading it later on. So just drinking coffee and working on the spreadsheet. I Okay, I'm just gonna take this moment to say thank you for all the work that you and Vanessa and um I know there's another person who helps with this one, Katie, who helps with like maintaining the spreadsheet, because that is like a godsend. I practically have that spreadsheet open entire time, because whenever I want to sprint, I just go through that spreadsheet. So for everyone in the chat who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there is a thing called a live reading and productivity sprints Google Sheets that Vanessa, Katie, Christina maintain. So it's essentially just a spreadsheet with a list of all of the, like, of a lot of booktube channels that go on sprints, and they update it like with the schedules of everyone that's like sprinting. So whenever you want to find like a sprint, like at any random time, just go to that spreadsheet and look at the schedule, and usually there's someone sprinting within the next couple of hours, so it's very helpful. I have been using it a lot. One, to discover other booktubers, and two, to just sprint at like the most random times. So definitely check that out. I will link. I don't know how I can link. Maybe I'll try and see if I can link it in the um I'm gonna try and link this. What do we call this? Sprint spreadsheet. Let's see if Google lets me. Anyway, I tried on linking it in the chat. I hope you see it. If not, I'm just gonna add it in my description box of this video so you can check it later on. So yeah, super helpful. And do you guys update it manually? Because I I feel like it's gonna be so hard to update that manually. I also need to read Jodie McAllister romances. There's so many romance novels I need to read this year. I know I was never really big on reading romance before. I used to only read like fantasy, literary, and then I just started reading romance like 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago. I think I started it when like Love Hypothesis became popular, and then I started just dabbling my feet into romances, and then I realized that it's such a good genre for reading in between other genres. Because I think it's the kind of like rom-coms, how you would watch rom-coms just to have a good time and pass the time. That's how I read most like light-hearted and fluffy romances. Obviously there are romance genres that are a lot heavier than others, but for the most part, a lot of the ones that are in that are popular are so lighthearted and just like easy to like read in between different books. So I have been reading a lot of romance. Last year, I'm pretty sure romance was my like most read genre, and I'm sure it will be in the top three again this year. It's because I keep reading it in between books. I do have Stargraph. I don't mind messaging on this. Yeah, I'll just message you on Discord, and I'll just add spoiler tags for when I send you my reaction. So we're doing that. Um, Looking forward to getting a book of short story. Yeah, and also the cover is really nice. It's very like peaceful looking, and I like the there's like a pink on that cover, and I find it like really cute. That's so cool. Yes, it is so cool. Honestly, I hope you guys can see the link that I posted in the chat, because it's so helpful. Bookmark it. Um, we sprint right almost every day. It is so handy. So yes, thank you for all of your hard work. Vanessa's here too. Hi, Vanessa. So she's also one of the people who maintain that spreadsheet. So thank you for all of your hard work because it is 100% helpful. So how are we feeling with the 45-minute sprint? Do we want to keep it at 45? Do we want to go shorter, maybe or longer, a full hour maybe? I think I'm good with 45. How many pages are the next chat? Okay, I think the next part is roughly 50, 60 pages for me. So I'm good with 45 minutes because I do want to get to like this entire book by the end of this. How many pages is this? I didn't even check. I think it's 233. That is my goal. Finish this book. 45 minutes sounds great. Okay, let's do 45. Did I find it helpful? Yes, super helpful. I'm gonna set up for the next sprint. We're gonna do 45 minutes again, and I'll see you in a bit. Wait, oops. Hi. How was sprint number two? Let me just check the comments. 45 sounds good. Good. Wasn't able to update kinain ng Can't Buy Me Love. So she was saying that she got hooked into Can't Buy Me Love. Wait, is this a book or I don't think I've heard of this. Can't Buy Me Love. Mm, Molly O'Keefe. Is this on KU? I'm just reading like the synopsis and story graph. Oh, there's hockey. Hockey's involved. Uh, I read until I think I started on page 40. Let me check. Yeah, I started on page 49 and I read until page 98. And there were a couple of moments there where I was kind of like on the verge of tearing up. Not fully, just like there's just a couple. I feel like I'm hyper conscious of the fact that I'm on a sprint, so that's why it's not as like easy for me to cry. But there are a couple of moments. I'm tabbing this book quite a bit. As you can see. I'm using this gray tab so that it kinda matches the cover ish. Um I have been tabbing this quite a bit. Hold on, let me get my tabs because it fell down. Tabs. I'm just using this like the usual tabs that people use. Just the like this gray one. Yeah, gray, bluish gray one. There are a couple of moments there because they are now starting to really go deeper into the concept of memories and like there was a line here where she said or she was thinking that um is there any meaning in memories that are forgotten and never accumulated, because you know how she forgets everything every day, and I'm like thinking that's a good like food for thought, I suppose. But obviously it hits a lot harder for her because it is her reality. So there were just a couple of moments here where they were just she was reading diary entries. So there's a part here where it's just a diary. Like obviously she keeps a journal of everything that happens to her so that she can review it on the day and keep on pretending that she hasn't forgotten everything. And there's like a couple of pages here where it's just diary entries of what happened to her every single day. Like for example, she writes down the jokes that people say or information about other people, and then she'd have like a people section in the binder. So whenever she learns about whenever she learns something new about a person, she writes it in there. I feel like she's gonna benefit a lot if she has Notion or something. I feel like that would be super useful for her, because she has everything in a binder, and she has like phone folders where she keeps all of the videos and the photos that she takes every single day. And then in her journal she says like, look at the album in your phone, blah blah blah, titled like my boyfriend. So I feel like she's gonna benefit if she has like some kind of Notion journal or something. But it has been quite heartbreaking just watching her go through the same realization every single day when she wakes up, and she obviously doesn't know or doesn't realize that she has been in an accident, although she does remember being in an accident. But for her the accident happened yesterday, but for everyone else it happened like a month and a half ago or something like that. And she's been reliving this feeling of waking up, finding out she was in an accident, finding out she has memory loss, and having to review like X amount of days of notes just to feel like just to keep up with the pretense that she can still remember everything. Like I don't know how she's gonna do that like further on. Just finished Kitchen, both the first and second story, and it was so beautiful. The story of grief and recovering from depression. It was gorgeous, and now I'm gonna write my review. It's amazing that you are writing reviews. I initially wanted to be the type of girl who has like written reviews and for all of the books that I've read. I tried in my first year of reading again. I did put up written reviews in my Goodreads and now in my Storygraph. So I think for 2021, I have, is it 2021? I have like written reviews for everything in my Storygraph. But now I feel like I can't really keep up. But um maybe when I have free time, I'm gonna transcribe like the thoughts that I say in my reading wrap ups because I do keep up ish with my video wrap up. So sometimes I combine months, sometimes I do like one whole dump of all the books I've read in the last 5 months, but it's still there in my booktube. So I'm thinking I could still transcribe it and put it as a written review. I'm just checking if it's 2021 when I last. No, not even 2021. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I did 2021. Is it? Oh, no. Actually, in 2021, I didn't do reviews, but 2022, I did? Question mark. Uh, yes, I did. Wow, this is a long review. I really made an effort to write reviews. Maybe I should keep it up. It's nice to see. Oh, I was looking at my reviews from 2022 and they're so long. When did I have the time? What was I doing in 2022? Interesting. It's nice to see though the written reviews from past years. Maybe I'll try to keep that up. I'll try. Maybe I'll try this one. It's very random goal. Listen to banana pancakes. Is that a? It sounds very interesting. Is that a? It sounds like a podcast for some reason. Banana pancakes. But it's a is it literary fiction? I think based on Storygraph. My reviews aren't anything complicated, but I like having a bit of I know it feels nice to have like a written record of things. Like I'm obviously reading about someone who leaves like a written record of her entire life. But I feel like just having that review is nice, especially since with books, it's usually like when you read the books and like your I guess state of mind at the time that you read a book definitely affects how you rate it. I remember that there are some books that I read one day and I rated it lower, and then I reread it a different like a few years later, then I would rate it higher just because my understanding of things, and maybe just because I wanted like a that type of story that day. So I feel like it would be nice to have written reviews. So maybe I should do that. A song. Okay. Why did I immediately think it was a book or a podcast? I am so behind on music. Like I'm not a type to search for new music or just music in general. I just usually when I hear a song in cafes or like whenever I get my nails done, then I would just put on the like music like Shazam in my phone, and then I would save it in my Spotify, and that would be my music. That's how I find new music, unless it's like super duper popular music that you would obviously hear everywhere. Not a book, a song. People talk about pancakes in the chat, and that's always pops in my head, and I have to listen to it. Maybe I should listen to it. What is it? I'm gonna listen to it in the next sprint because I'm curious. But isn't it like funny that there's an actual book that's called Banana Pancakes? Let me just check. Yeah, I'm just looking for it on YouTube. Banana pancakes. I searched for banana pancakes, and obviously a lot of like banana pancake recipes popped up, not the song. I should have added the song. Oh, it's an older song. I thought it was a new one. I need to decide what I'll do in the next sprint. Maybe pick out some new books to buy, Ooh, I like that. I like that idea. Or read a chapter of Braiding Sweetgrass. I feel like this option is kind of like, do I be responsible and read a book, or should I just buy a book? I feel like buy a book is the better option. What are you thinking of buying? Do you have a set list of books that you're planning to buy? Because we're supposed to be reading. But Jack Johnson did the soundtrack for Curious George, and that is the book. Well, makes sense. Makes sense. I have been so I did my bookshelf recently. I posted a video on it. Yeah, that was the last video that I posted, and I quite literally have zero space in my shelf. So I should probably stop buying stuff. But when I was doing the April TBR video, obviously I had to pull out some books. And I put them here in a book cart. Let me try and show you. So it is now, how do I do this? Okay. So some of the books are now here in my book cart, which means that my shelves have some like gaps in there. Like there's some spots in there where I could like slot in some books. So now I'm thinking I have space for books. But I am trying to read a lot more physically. That's why my TBR is has a lot of physical books, because I don't want to unhaul books without giving it a fair shot, which is why I need to read them before I can unhaul them. And I already have two books that I am planning to unhaul. They're two Fairy Loot books, and I'm selling them. I read them already, and they're just not the type of books that I would just keep. So I'm just thinking of selling them for like a reasonable price, like definitely way below what they cost. To be fair, I have read six books since I last bought one. That's good. So I'm allowed to, yes. Book buying ban. Oh, is there like an official challenge that you're following for your book buying ban? Or did you make up your own rule where you have to read, I'm assuming, three books, physical books, and then that's when you can buy a book? Oh, I have seen Demon Copperhead a lot. It's the one with the like, I think I saw a special edition where the cover has like rainbow foiling or something like that, and it looks so good. I have no idea what it's about though. And something else to get free shipping. That's how they get you, free shipping. I always fall for that too. Like in Amazon for the Philippines, you have to buy a minimum of $49 worth in order to get free shipping. And obviously, it's so hard to find like the least amount of books to get to $49. So you always end up spending around $60 or something crazy like that. It's not an official challenge, but it's set up in a server I'm in. Oh, that's nice. I think I did before a challenge where I last year for the first half of the year I was following this challenge where the number of pages, each page that I read means 1 peso that I can spend on books. So usually books here, if it's like a paperback, it's about like 500 to 600 pesos. So I would have to read one 500 to 600 page book in order to buy a new book. So that was a challenge that I followed, like I think the first half of the year, and then and I went to buy the books that I rightfully earned through the challenge, and I went overboard, and then I just completely ignored the rules. Maybe I'll try that again at some point. I think that's like a nice challenge, because then you're forced to like, not forced, but you're encouraged to read more books before you buy books, which is probably how it should be. But what else are you planning to buy aside from um, Demon Copperhead? I've been wanting to get Bright Young Women. I've been reading a lot of good reviews about it, and I really like the very bold yellow cover. It's not available locally though, so if I want to buy it, I would have to go to Amazon or some reseller. I've been asking around, and it's still not available in our local bookstores, which kind of sucks. We're usually like late by around 4 months. Like it takes 3 to 4 months to get the new releases in our local bookstores. I don't think Bright Young Women is that new for release though, so maybe there's just not a lot of like demand for it, which is why they're not stocking it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna set up for another sprint, another 45-minute sprint. I think I'm doing good. There, I'm at page 99. So if I usually read one page per minute. So if I do two more sprints, I'll get to 188, and then I'll just read the rest of sprints probably. So, maybe something else by Miyako Kawakami. I still love the book I read by her. Did you read Breast and Eggs? Is that the book that you read? I've been seeing one more book by her. I forget what it is. It's the one with the people in the title. It's nice that you like Breast and Eggs because or Miyako Kawakami. I forget if it was Breast and Eggs because I do have that with me as well, and I want to read it. It's kind of thick though. I didn't expect it to be this thick. Breast and Eggs. Okay, I am gonna set up for All the Lovers in the Night. Okay, then maybe you should try Breast and Eggs because I think that is one of her popular books. I am gonna set up for the third sprint also because we have food being delivered and it's probably gonna arrive here soon. So let me do the next 45 minutes and happy reading. Hi. That 45 minutes kind of went by so fast. Or maybe I'm just like getting sucked into the book. How was everyone's reading or whatever you're doing? I made it to page 157. I don't remember when I started the sprint. I think it was around 110 or something like that. But I made it to 157 and I feel like it's gearing up. Like it's slowly building to a very sad ending. So far, um we've just been shown like the different day-to-day things that they do as this kind of like 51st dates vibe where you just every day they do something a little bit different, and it's kind of very slice of life, but as the days goes on we see some differences in the way that they both think about the situation, and I feel like it's gonna really crush me towards the end, and I don't know if I'm excited to do that or not. But it's good. The writing is obviously this is translated fiction. The writing is a bit like it's very direct. It's very straightforward. And it has moments where the character would be thinking something like the character would be thinking of what he wanted to do in a certain situation, and then a few paragraphs later he would be telling us how he did that certain situation. So it's kind of a bit repetitive in some ways, but it's not that bad. It's definitely not to the point where it gets like dragging or boring. um but yeah, I just noticed that there are a lot of like repetitions like here and then, but it's all good. And yeah, I feel like after the sprints, I will continue reading this and finish this tonight. I only have this much left, which is around like 70 pages. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish it tonight. And I have a lot of tabs for it. So enjoying it so far. I hope you are all also enjoying your book so far. So let me know if you're enjoying your books or not, or if you've changed which books you plan to read. I think I'm not quite sure if I want to do another sprint, honestly, because I want to eat dinner. I'm Our dinner just arrived, and I think I'm gonna eat that, or I might just eat for the next sprint and then do one more. But it's kind of late. It's 11 p.m. So I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna be doing. I'm trying to decide. Um, but let me just check real quick. Because I do have something that I need to do in a bit. Oh, but that's not until like 3 hours from now, so it's fine. I've read one more chapter of Braiding Sweetgrass. It was all about honorable harf. Why can't I read? It was all about honorable harvest and incredibly interesting. That's nice. I don't think I've ever heard of this book before. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. Braiding Sweetgrass. Nonfiction. Oh, it's like essays on nature and stuff. I feel like this would be so interesting to read. I saw recently someone reading a book about mushrooms. I feel like that's so interesting as well. I feel like this is the equivalent of watching nature documentaries, but then just reading about it. Um, Probably gonna head off soon. Maybe I'll go outside for a bit. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I feel like I need to. I think this will be like I'm composing my thoughts. I think that was the last sprint, so I'm not gonna do another one because it is quite late and I still need to eat dinner. I need to feed my dog, walk my dogs, and then feed my dog. So yeah, we'll probably end it today. In any case, tomorrow we were still having sprints, but this time with the other Pam shenanigans. We're gonna be doing it in our usual time of 7 p.m. Manila, 7 a.m. Eastern, and that's I think 4 a.m. Pacific. So that's gonna be tomorrow, and it's also gonna be on my channel. So lots more reading that we can do tomorrow. I'm also gonna be doing a 24-hour readathon video. I'm gonna start filming that tomorrow as well. So that will be quite fun. Um, but again, with my mom, super interesting to discuss the chapters. Oh, that's so nice. It's nice that you have someone to discuss your books with, like in person. And it's also interesting that it's with family. That's always a nice bonding moment. Yep. I'm like extra curious about this book. I wanted to be the type of person. So I have a balcony behind this door, and I've always wanted to be the type of person who has this like lots of plants in their balcony, and then have herbs and I don't know, maybe even potatoes, tomatoes, and things like that in my balcony. But I did try once, and I did not do enough research, so it died on me, and I haven't tried since then. So maybe I should read this and try again. Won't be there tomorrow. Oh yeah, I know. I understand. Yeah, we also was thinking, oh, I think people are gonna be in their Easter, meetups and celebrations with their family. But for us, it's gonna be evening, so most of the Easter celebrations are already over by then. But yeah, thank you for stopping by today. I'm glad that I did the sprints today, so you were able to join in, and for everyone else who joined today. Um, and I guess I'll see you again next week at some point. I'm trying to do more solo reading sprints as well, just because I wanna have that dedicated time to read and to meet with everyone. And it's nice seeing the same people over and over again. So yeah, have a good evening, guys, and thank you for joining me for tonight. And hopefully, I'll see you again in the next sprints. Happy Easter, everyone! Good night, or good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Bye. Have a lovely weekend, everyone.